explain a little bit with this board. We don't have any of the prototypes here, but there is one that we're bringing out for 09 called the Sixer. 6 fins. And what it is it's a twin fin, which has become pretty popular on the North Shore right now. Most everybody's riding twin fins. Well, what I used to do is with the Bonzer brothers, Malcolm and Duncan Campbell, we used to make Bonzers. It was a single back fin with these 2 sets of small canard type rudder fins, and we lay them out 22 degrees, and we made a whole bunch of them in the 80s. I mean, I had probably, out of the top 16, maybe like 12 guys riding in Sunset Beach. So it was a really great design. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to put the center fin. We were having such good results at LF with the quad, we'll make it a twin fin. So that's something we're on to right now. We're still working on the board, but everybody that rode that board is just, that design has just been, so that's kind of a step into the future. Or I guess it's a step into the past to bring into the future. What is that called? Back to the Future? I don't know. So, you got to try, did you try one?
I unfortunately didn't. I got to hold one and look at it.
Yeah. There's very few people, we've only made about, I don't know, 10? Not even that, you know. Morris has basically hogged most of them, so he loves his surfboards. But I'd say that's, for me, like future, I'd like to bring more durability. And if we add in a molded board, for sure, I'd like to do that. It'll probably be something more like Jimmy's. I like his technology because there's a taper of the skins. They actually have a little more flex than an average skin board. And again, I think I don't want to say value, but maybe for durability, the molded boards are probably going to last longer.
They're heavier, right?
No, actually they're pretty much the same weight. They come out, I mean, when you put something in a mold under pressure, it's really good. Like a bag is sort of a portable mold, but when you have a steel mold and you're putting all these components in and then basically, you know, they clamp it down and they let it sit and they form this core, they're really strong.
I think from a riding standpoint, you just lose a little bit of performance. You lose like a little bit of the feel and the liveliness of what this style of board can give, and you may gain a little bit in durability. So again, it's just kind of like the question of a thruster versus a quad or the Sixer that Pat was talking about. It's all about the feel that you want to get. You know, and you'll find as you progress in kiting, almost everything is that way. You know, be it the type of kite that you choose to ride, your harness, your types of foot straps, how they're set up, your stance width, like all these different things all really come back to comfort, you know, and the feel that you actually want to get out of it. And at the level some of you guys are at right now, you don't know what that is. But you know, you may go out one day and something feels right, and you go out the next day and you do the exact same thing and it doesn't feel right, but you switch something up. So you find that as you progress and as you get better, you know, you kind of dial in that your type of body works better with this style of harness. And a certain bar just feels right in your hand, and a certain type of kite feels right, you know, and as you kind of progress, the same thing will happen with the board, be it a twin tip or a surfboard, you know, and it's just a cool feeling that as you progress, you start to be able to actually see those things and what type of difference they make, to the point now where, you know, a lot of coaches or other people in the room who are more advanced riders could hop on, you know, these 3 boards here, and they're all different, and be able to feel the differences in each. Whereas like visually, you look at them and you say that one has a little bit of a different tail, and that one's a different color, or they have different graphics, and that's really visually the only difference. So it's kind of a fun evolution in your kiting.
Would you say that having better equipment, maybe, I'm just using it maybe because I'm a musician, I've always gone for top end and just got yelled at later for buying it, but I found that my satisfaction as a player and plus my ability range was better because I had good skill. Would you say that could be true for kiting too? If you went with best kites, more or less like at least the top medium range, would you say that would
Yeah,
make your experience faster?
Especially in kiting where it's at right now, you are in a you get what you pay for type of situation. You know, there was a point where there were price point kites and boards and high end, and everything's kind of leveled out now where there's a lot of good equipment out there, but you know, like taking the cheap route and buying something, you know, used on eBay or somewhere that's a few years old, you're essentially just holding yourself back, you know, and being able to get, you know, it's not that you have to have the brand newest, most expensive everything, but taking the investment, you know, you've invested your time to come and take lessons, you've already committed that you want to be a part of the sport and you want to do it and you want to get better at it, you know, just trying to do it in the right way and not just skimp out on gear will make everything more enjoyable. You'll progress faster, you'll get, you know, more out of what you're doing, and especially with durability in the past few years, how that's come around, your gear is just going to last longer, you know, so I think it does make a big difference going with the right gear, even right from the start, more so than it would have a few years ago.
And our job's supposed to be making everything evolve. That's really the most exciting thing, is seeing the progress. I mean, since '98 when I started playing around with this stuff, we were just using regular surfboard blanks and not really reinforcing them that well. I mean, they would be coming in like 2 weeks later, 2 pieces, or there'd be just like these huge, you know, valleys in the foam where they just pushed through, because everybody was coming off of windsurfing. So the first kiteboards weren't these little tiny boards. They were actually, some of them were like, I don't know, 7 feet long. You know, we were towing on 7-foot boards too. We didn't realize you could make a 5.2 and tow jaws, so it was all new ground back then. And you know, Laird and Derek Dorner, a few friends of mine, I mean, I was watching them and they're riding these, and all of a sudden they were riding 5.6s and 5.10s. Oh my goodness, these guys are riding 30-foot surf on a board this big. So I think kiting is going to stay that same way. I know in kites, I'm not really knowledgeable like he is, but I know now with once I get this fixed, I'm going to be out there and probably be good in 3 months. It's just so much better than what they were.
Been watching Ryan learn and
Oh, yeah.
beat himself to death. I know one thing you mentioned that when you did you say you started shaving?
1966, which was a
And-
while ago.
Yeah, and I never really realized until you said it upstairs, but you were in 6th grade. So
Yeah, I started
Chad's been
young.
shaving since he was in 6th grade, which I thought was pretty amazing. You know,
I came from a really good area to be building surfboards. So it was, I grew up in a place called Playa del Rey, which was Dewey Weber was on one corner, and then down in Hermosa Beach, I just had all these really famous builders. And I was just like this really happy little kid going, wow, I can do that. The surfboards were huge. They were 9.6 when I started. And all of a sudden everything changed, like in the course of 2 years. We were cutting boards in half, and we're cutting the tails off and peeling the glass off and reshaping. So it was a really neat time to jump in. And you know, I kind of see that maybe in kiting now. There's so much new ways. I got all excited when I saw people foiling. Wow, this is cool. You could ride an open ocean wave for miles, you know, depending. I mean, I think it's great. What's coming up is going to be better for you guys as consumers, for sure. It's just going to get better and better, because the technology every day, we're finding new ways. I found just from working with Wes at EDF, we have a new coating that, the problem with painting boards is that if you hit them, like Surftex, all the molded boards, if you hit them hard enough, the paint pops off. And you have this like white spot where you can see the core. So what he did is he goes, I can fix that. The bats that you see, those aluminum bats, they spray them with this clear finish, I think mainly to keep them from scratching. It's super hard. That's what we're spraying these with. So that's testing, but you know, I think there's a lot of things like that that's going to come along in the next 2 years.